Object-Oriented Modeling with Power Designer, using the UML for analysis modeling. Power Designer supports the full UML specification, which includes the ability to support analysis modeling through various UML artifacts independent of implementation details and independent of target language. In this example, we are using the analysis target, and we'll be examining several UML diagrams useful for analysis. Starting with the use case diagram, which answers the questions who and what. Who will use the system, represented by the actors in this diagram: customer, sales, shipping manager, and stock clerk. The what is represented by the use cases: place order, ship order, and check stock. In this example, we see that the ability to place an order is including the ability to check stock and is including the ability to ship order. But the timing is not known. When do I check stock? When do I ship the order? When do I place the order? So to see the analysis over time, we will turn to a different diagram, the sequence diagram. The sequence diagram is a UML diagram that describes how things communicate with each other. In this diagram, we've added some object instances: order management, shipping management, stock management, and a timing. So the customer will first place order to the order management system, which then requests of sales to accept the order. When sales signals back the order is accepted, we will then continue. We'll eventually check stock and ship the order. Now, examining this diagram, as you can imagine, these diagrams can get rather complicated. After several objects have been added, it's difficult to see, without thinking of timing, who is speaking to whom. So for that, we use the exact same metadata, but relay it out as a collaboration diagram. To show you it is the exact same metadata, we can easily create a new message from customer to ship management. In doing so, the sequence diagram will pick up that new message. Once we've determined who is speaking with whom and where our user interfaces will be and where our system-to-system interfaces will be, we then continue to examine the system. We have the state chart, which allows us to show the various states an order will be in and what we can do given we're in that state. For example, when we start with a new order, it'll be in a create state, where we can check the type. If there's a trigger that the type is of corporate order, we'll move into process corporate order state. Otherwise, we'll move into the process order state. After processing the order, the ship trigger will have us end the life cycle of an order. However, understanding all of the complete logical flows, we turn to the activity diagram. The activity diagram is similar to the business flow, only it has a harder semantic, is much more precise to the UML specification, follows its more mathematical and applied approach. So here we have the activity diagram, where we start at the start symbol, we'll create an order, and then we check if it's a corporate order, and if yes, we follow one path, if no, we follow another, and so on. Now, while we're here, we can also start to make some assessments around the basic structure of our code, again, still at an analysis level. The main class diagram shows us our core domain objects, the relationship between them. Here we have customers, employees, orders. I see that an order has 3 different employees related to it, and so on. And we can also build analysis components showing what our basic ideas of the components of our system are going to be. Now we're starting to tread carefully into the design and deployment aspects, and we'll get into those details in another section. So we've seen how we can capture some of the core business associations, business rules, rebuild them in the UML and represent them back to the business through use case sequence collaboration diagrams, and then start doing some analysis around system organization and system implementation without even once thinking of a particular object-oriented language or platform or paradigm for development.